Christine Pitawanich with your weekly recap, where we'll be catching you up on some of the biggest stories of the week. That includes the loss of an Oregon outdoor icon, what his friends are saying about him, plus how the owner of a beloved restaurant plans to move forward after the building catches fire, and how parents and young students were left stranded after a school suddenly shut down.
The Columbia River Gorge is a place where views are never twice the same.
But first, a loss that hits very close to home here at KGW. Longtime reporter, author, and teacher Grant McOmie died Wednesday night at the age of 73 with his family by his side. Grant was the iconic host and voice behind our Grant's Getaways series. He loved exploring the wonders of the Pacific Northwest. For 44 years, he's shared the best of it with all of us. From viewers to us here at KGW and even state leaders, many people are mourning Grant's death. We spoke with former Oregon State Senator Betsy Johnson, who knew Grant personally. She deeply appreciated his coverage of every nook and cranny across the state.
He was an iconic Oregonian, and I think made us all want to get our barn boots and trudge out into the woods and see if we too could find morels in the spring or chanterelles, to see if we could pack a mushroom with a crab we just caught. He's irreplaceable.
Yeah, so true. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden chimed in as well. On Facebook, he wrote, "Very sorry to hear about the passing of Grant McOmie. Recreation and getting outdoors are in Oregonians' DNA, and Grant played a huge role in informing viewers about our state's many natural treasures. He will be hugely missed." Our Laurel Porter takes a look back now at his decades-long career that left a deep impression on all of us.
The Columbia River Gorge is a place where views are never twice the same.
Grant McOmie was a consummate storyteller.
Look at the scenery. Best part of the entire trip. And I've got a mile-wide smile to prove it. It's gorgeous. The Willava Mountains.
He loved nothing more than to share the wonders of the Pacific Northwest.
There's nothing better than a stroll in the woods, especially when there's treasure underfoot.
Like that guy right there, he's sitting there.
Hey, Marty! How are you?
Its people, traditions,
Been waiting for this for a long time.
Smoked razor clams.
food.
Yes, I am in seafood heaven. Oh! The Oregon coast is spectacular
The
anytime.
great outdoors
But in late summer, when the sun goes down and
with all of
conditions are
us.
just right, there's something magical and marvelous.
Couldn't have asked for better conditions tonight.
Oh, yes. I got it.
That's awesome.
With its canyon walls rising for
In his 44 years of reporting on television, there wasn't a river, a town,
That's where they should be, right there. There he is. Yeah, there he is.
trout stream, or crossroads anywhere in the state of Oregon that he didn't visit.
When you travel through Hell's Canyon, be prepared to get more than your feet wet.
Forecast was 100% showers today.
Along the way, always finding the human connection.
So there's really no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
I love that.
And community.
There he goes. There's a fish.
Paddling on Beaver Creek is one of the most peaceful and one of the closest times that you can get in tune with nature.
If you've ever seen one of his stories, read one of his books,
Think you're a million miles away.
wow, or heard him lecture,
As you point that travel compass in any direction, you're going to see something different.
you would know that he cherished the time he got to spend wandering the state.
It's a byway that rambles with views to cascading streams.
His love of the forest, open skies, wildlife, the ocean, cafes, and neighborhood seafood boils all showed in his joy-filled smile and open-hearted laugh.
This is always the toughest part of my job. Not.
Every time I ask Steve for a new and unique recipe, he surprises me at every turn. It is delicious.
In the southern Willamette Valley, just minutes from Eugene, it's easy to find.
He stood in awe of the extraordinary beauty of the Northwest and found fast friendship with the people who he shared it with.
How's it feel?
It feels really big. really big.
Grant was on TV and in his writing exactly as he was in person, friendly, curious about the world, and always, always so enthusiastic.
Oh, baby.
He drew that enthusiasm out in others, too.
You gotta love Oregon.
You could see that on the faces of everyone he shared time with.
Big fish on the big sea. Check it out.
Big, wide grins and happy smiles.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's got a spice to it.
In 2021, Grant was recognized for a lifetime of achievement by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, with an induction into the Silver Circle, an honor he added to his many other Emmys, as well as a host of other awards.
The Forest Service has just completed the groundwork for their
His
new
reward,
Salmon
though,
River and
was
Tropical
always
Trails.
just the chance to tell another story. He considered himself a storyteller, a writer, but would often say, as a reporter, he had the best assignment anyone could ever ask for.
I'm ready. Ready to ride.
Grant McOmie, we will miss you. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
And that was Laurel Reporter reporting. Well, to some of the other headlines this week, police are investigating what some are calling a really scary situation at a northeast Portland mosque. It happened early Wednesday morning as worshipers filled the Abu Bakr Islamic Center. We spoke with two congregants who say that's when a man unexpectedly entered the main prayer area.
White guy with a hoodie, mask, cap, some gloves, like basically some gear to mask his identity. Came in right at the tail end of our prayer, shouted Allahu Akbar a couple of times, which means God is the greatest. But I mean, I don't know if he knew that, doesn't matter.
He says, you know, if you stand up, you die, or that people die today. And, you know, it's unsettling.
Yeah, you can understand that feeling. They say the man left abruptly and they called the police. Portland police looked for the man but couldn't find him. Officers say they're increasing patrols in the area and are investigating it as a possible bias incident.
What mom ever thinks she will have to bury one of her children at such a young age.
Powerful testimony in a Clackamas County courtroom Wednesday as a mother shared the heartbreak of her daughter's murder. A judge ruled Kaylee Snow's killer will spend the next 3 decades in prison. In March of 2024, Bobby Alsop was renting a room at Snow's home on Southeast Flavel Drive. That's when prosecutors say he beat her to death with a hammer, hid her body in a shed on the property, then returned a few days later and tried to burn down the shed. Prosecutors presented security video, DNA evidence, and cell phone records in court linking Alsop to Snow's death. Both Snow's mother and Alsop spoke at the sentencing.
Whether you want to hear this or not, I wasn't involved in her death at all.
She tried to help you too. But instead of being thankful or appreciative or anything like that, you beat her over the head with a hammer and you set her on fire.
Alsop's attorney says he plans to appeal. Now to what Portland police are calling a major criminal operation involving nearly $500,000 worth of stolen copper, critical for infrastructure throughout the city. Last week, police recovered everything from stolen copper piping to wiring. Police say Lumen Technologies, the parent company of CenturyLink, helped them discover crooks were targeting aerial communication lines as well as underground cabling. Police arrested 5 people, including 55-year-old Deidre White. They say White used business credentials to sell the stolen metal to recycling facilities. The police liaison for Lumen Technologies says keep an eye out for thieves posing as contractors while stealing wire from neighborhood power boxes.
And you stick a sign on the side of your vehicle, pretend like you're a contractor and go in there and tear it up. And you just robbed that whole neighborhood of services. For what? $20 worth of copper? That's about what it boils down to.
In December, police say a motorcyclist was killed after crooks cut copper wire from a traffic control box, disabling a traffic signal. Now to a developing story in Southeast Portland, where one of Portland's longstanding restaurants nearly burned to the ground. We're talking about Tom's Restaurant and Bar along Southeast Division. John Adams has the story.
Ownership tells me the fire started in the kitchen and quickly spread to the roof. But after the setback, they tell me they're not going anywhere after spending decades here in the neighborhood. Tom's Restaurant and Bar has been a fixture on Southeast Division since 1975.
It means a lot to our family. We've been in this neighborhood for 51 years.
But on Wednesday night, the fate of this beloved establishment was in question when a fire broke out in the kitchen. Third-generation owner Nick Papaliu received a call that the restaurant side of the building was on fire around 11 p.m.
Driving down here was pretty stressful. Pulling up to the scene was really scary.
The fire reached the roof of the restaurant before fire crews were able to put it out. Papaliu says the family is now assessing the damage.
We've never been through something like this before. I don't know how long this is going to take. We are really thankful the bar will remain open, normal business hours.
And it was outside the bar where we met longtime patrons who came to show support less than 12 hours after the fire.
Luckily, it's still here, and we're here, and we're going to support it as much as we can.
While others remember their encounters with the restaurant's founder and namesake, Tom Balasiu, who passed away last year.
Well, I've been coming here all my life. Every single time I had Tom, before he passed, he was always up in that kitchen. Every single time you would see him, he would remember your order. He would remember you. He'd remember how you like something cooked.
Words of encouragement even being sent by Senator Ron Wyden Thursday morning, wishing for a speedy recovery. A recovery that Papaliu says the family is dead set on making.
And it's important to our family that we continue that legacy for him, and we stay in this Richmond neighborhood and get back running, be operational as quickly as possible.
The bar here wasn't damaged in the fire and remains open for normal business hours. In Southeast Portland, John Adams, KGW News.
New developments this week surrounding local protests. The Ninth Circuit has temporarily paused court-ordered restrictions on the use of crowd control munitions outside Portland's ICE building. The Trump administration is appealing two lower court rulings that essentially said federal agents used excessive force and placed limits on how and when authorities could deploy things like tear gas. The decision buys the court time to decide whether to grant the government's request for a longer pause while it appeals the case.
Proud of my colleagues. We managed to pull off a very historic strike, the first strike at a community college in Oregon's history.
Now to an update. Portland Community College closed a deal on Thursday with one of the unions striking on campus, but bargaining continues with a second union. Now that union is calling for the governor to intervene. Whether or not they reach a deal soon, spring term will be pushed back. Most classes will start April 6th, a week later than scheduled. The agreement with the first union includes a 5% cost of living adjustment that kicks in July 1st, a more than $1,300 ratification bonus, and some enhanced worker protections. The other union, still holding the line, says the largest sticking point is a return to work agreement that includes pay for the time they were on strike. And after more than a year at the bargaining table, Kaiser Permanente and the Oregon Federation of Nurses and Health Professionals have reached a tentative contract agreement. The union made the announcement Monday. The issue came to a head last fall, as you may recall, when thousands of Kaiser workers went on strike in Oregon and Southwest Washington. The new deal covers nearly 5,000 healthcare workers across Oregon and across the region, and includes a wage increase of more than 21% over the life of the contract. To a KGW investigation, Busy Hands Montessori is closed, with the owner citing a mass resignation of staff as the reason why. Now families with kids who went to the school are wondering what's next. Here's Evan Watson with that story.
When some families recently met up for a midday play date at a Southwest Portland playground, their kids weren't on spring break. Their school had just shut down.
It was a community that we built up over the years. My oldest has been going there for 2 years. We really did think we had something special, and it feels like the rug's been ripped out from under you.
Busy Hands Montessori abruptly closed this month, leaving parents like Tara Moreland scrambling for options. Her 5-year-old and 2-year-old attended the school.
They're taking it well. Kids are resilient. I think us as parents are just like, this is too much to juggle.
The school's owner, Jessica Gowans, sent an email explanation to families. She said the school's closure was a shock to her. She shut it down after a mass resignation of staff left her no choice but to close immediately. So why did the teachers leave? Parents say the teachers told them that they discovered they were missing money, including retirement contributions.
They felt like their funds were missing from their paycheck over the last few months, years, compounding. There's always sides to every story. This one feels like it has 3 different sides, but that was the story we were hearing.
In an emailed statement to KGW, Gowan said the school recently made several catch-up contributions to employee IRA accounts, and she's in the process of completing any remaining contributions. She said she's consistently addressed and corrected any payment issues in her time in charge of busy hands, and she believes direct communication could have addressed any concerns before multiple staff members resigned at once, adding, "I felt optimistic about the direction we were heading. The outcome has been both shocking and deeply distressing, and I sincerely wish it had unfolded differently. My staff were like family to me, and I cared for them deeply." With the school's closure, parents are wondering if they'll get their tuition and enrollment payments back.
Many families are out thousands of dollars.
Yes, I would say probably somewhere between $4,000 to $11,000, depending on how many kids they had in.
After initially writing that the school didn't have reserves to issue immediate refunds, Gowans emailed parents on Monday morning, saying all families will be repaid and refunds will start at the end of this week. Moreland says everyone involved in this has questions, including her 2 children, who will now transition to a new school.
They miss their friends. I think they're getting a little too much mom time right now, which is fair. But they're sad and they're confused. They wonder why they didn't get to say goodbye to their teachers.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
Using artificial intelligence just cost an Oregon attorney $10 grand. The Oregon Court of Appeals hit the Salem-based attorney with that fine for using case citations and quotes that did not exist. William Giorso says while researching, his staff found limited case law relevant to their case, and AI produced what appeared to be legitimate legal analysis. It turns out they were what are called AI hallucinations. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. In December, a court fined another attorney for a similar error, setting a precedent to fine lawyers $500 to $1,000 per mistake.
Those imaginary citations that we saw in this case are of a kind that you as a layperson would have extreme difficulty telling from real citations. They look plausible, they are formatted correctly. Everything that would make you trust them is there.
So the attorney says they've implemented new procedures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Check this out. Did you see a shooting star that looked kind of like this early Monday morning? Well, if you did, you're not alone. A bright green fireball that you saw there lit up the sky around 6 a.m. Monday, seen from Northern California to Central Washington. OMSI Director of Space Science Education Jim Todd says the clear, dark sky at the time made the meteor easier to see. It comes after meteor events in Texas and Ohio, one hitting a house, the other causing a sonic boom. Todd says those are rare, but meteors like the one we saw in our area on Monday are common.
More frequent than you realize. There's always, every single day, we are bombarded by micrometeorite, tons of it, every single day. And it burns up in the upper atmosphere. And that particular meteor probably was about the size of a basketball, but it broke up very quickly.
So as for the meteor's bright green color, Todd says it's from magnesium or nickel burning up in the atmosphere. Now here's a look at your weather.
I'm Corey Johnson. It's good to be with you. I want to kick things off with a few live views. Keep in mind we are recording this on a Friday, so looking at our Wells Fargo Tower camera, 43 degrees in the later part of the morning. Our Vancouver camera, the Springs at the waterfront, nice and sunny out there, also sitting in the 40s. And last but not least, near the coast, Lincoln City camera, those waves crashing in for us. Now, as we kick off the rest of our weekend, our Saturday and our Sunday now, I wanted to show you our weather headlines. We're going to be dry and calm for today and also a little bit breezy. Our temperatures, as we saw on our Friday, looking really good in the mid 60s. Today on our Saturday, we are sitting a little bit cooler in the way of temperatures. And then clouds wise, they increase for us on our Sunday, maybe some sprinkles as we get throughout the rest of Sunday. And then heavier rain does move in with another system by midweek. That rain does return, and it'll also be a little steadier as well. And then taking a look as the rest of the Saturday gets underway. Saturday morning starting off with those clouds, and then it does clear up. We have a little bit of a window as far as the sun is concerned to get out and see it. It'll be a copy and paste of what we saw on Friday. And notice throughout the day, it really does stay rather pleasant for us. And across the valley, sitting in the upper 50s, low 60s across many stretches. McMinnville, your high 59. Salem, 60 degrees, and Corvallis just 1 degree higher than that. In Southwest Washington, trending similarly in the upper 50s, more so than the 60s. However, 57 in Longview, 58 in Battleground, and Vancouver, you're at 59. A look at futurecasts in the way of temperatures. Notice a few days ago throughout the early morning hours we saw frost, but as we get to past sunset on our Saturday and into our Sunday, notice the temperatures don't dip that much. We're staying in the upper 30s, mid 40s across many stretches. So really a lot of us are not going to wake up with any frost as we head into Sunday. And then by Sunday morning, the temperatures sitting comfortably in the mid 40s, mid to upper 40s in some spots. So if you want to go for maybe an early morning run or walk the dogs, it'll feel good to do it. Just grab a light jacket. Looking at your 2-day planner from Saturday to Sunday, notice a little bit of difference. Dry and sunny on Saturday. 61 your high in Portland, but as we get to Sunday, the clouds are going to start to fill in rapidly, and that's because we have a new system on the way, your high 58. Looking at Sunday as far as futurecast is concerned, one model showing that by early in the morning, we could have a few sprinkles already filling in. Some models saying not so much, but at least by in the afternoon hours, we should see a line of steady showers pass us on our Sunday in the afternoon. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, 61 your high, 62 your high for Saturday, and then PM showers likely for our Sunday with the rain, likely on Monday, a potential break Tuesday before things become steadier by Wednesday and Thursday.
And that's a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Christine Pitawanich. A reminder, you can catch up on the latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel.